And I guess we're live. That did it. Well, hello. I'm, as Ron would say, in the big chair today. My name's Abby Shields, and I'm sitting here with our crew, and we are going to discuss what celebrity should be saved, or, on the other side of that, what celebrity should be shown the door and say, goodbye, so long, you were nice to have for a time. And with that, I'll open the floor.
And the correct answer is all of them.
So which one? Are we saying both? We're saving and showing them the door?
I never understood the notion of like, and kind of the way I talked to you about this, I get like if you're an inspiring actor, musician, whatever it is, and you're like, you see something, you're like, oh, that's cool. I want to play like that. I want to be like that. That's fine. But when like, I've read like for, especially like the Taylor Swift tour, people were going in like credit card debt just to go to concerts. And then like people get like celebrity faces fully tattooed on them. And I'm like, all right, that to me is getting like a little weird. And like, you, Nick, like you're a big music guy like me, and there's tons of musicians you love, but I don't know you, I never once saw one. I was like, yes, that is my idol. He is so cool. If it came, like I love Alice in Chains. If it came out Jerry Control just killed somebody, I'd be like, he's a celebrity. It makes sense. I mean, look at any of the scandals that's happened in the past years. I just don't get it.
Yeah, celebrity worship is like a weird thing to me. I don't like that someone that like doesn't necessarily have any merit,
right?
Other than like doing music or acting, can hold so much power enough to like act on a TV show and work their way to a presidency, or on the other hand, like Taylor Swift, endorse a political figure. And you know, that's insane that's like a reality we live in where Jake Paul can change the world.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
And kind of to go along with that, you know, nobody's words should have that much weight.
Right.
True.
Because, I mean, if you look at the average human, me, anybody in this room, basically, I'm not, and by no means am I saying that our words don't matter. They do. But our words don't carry that much weight. Annalise, if I said something to you 2 weeks ago and I said, recall to me what I said, you'd be like, huh, what? You know, you'd be like, and I don't say that in a bad way, but that's just to say, you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what I say. And again, you know, to those of you listening to this podcast, or if you guys are going to go rewatch this, you know, if I told you, hey, look at what I said at the 245 mark of this video, for those of you that are on YouTube, you're not going to remember, you're not going to be able to recall verbatim, or even paraphrasing, probably. I hope not. Anyway, you know, what I say. And that's honestly the way it should be, because that gives us all a voice. You know, that's not just my voice, you know, overpowering everybody's, or me trying to change literally an entire world. Looking at you, Taylor Swift. Sorry, not sorry. But, you know, because when you do that, you know, you look at and not to get too political here, but you look at the political world and you look at what's going on right now, you know, these presidential candidates and these vice presidential candidates, their words carry so much weight. And, you know, love media or hate media, they grab onto it, and that's what you hear for the next, I don't know how many days, 35 days till election day, something like that, you know? And so
I feel like that's gone away. Like, rather it be like commercials, or like how you said with like celebrities endorsing, at least in my experience, and I kind of want to gauge the room, I never once, rather be a commercial, I never saw like, whoa, this person, they're voting for that. That's what I got to do. Or if you like see like Morgan Freeman's endorsing Cheetos, man, I got to go get Cheetos. Like that I've never once in my life. And to me, I find it very hard to believe that like a giant percentage of people truly hold that.
I think with what you said, Josh, I think that's very interesting, because I mean, I don't know exactly, you know, what kind of place you come from, like background wise, but
sure.
I come from a very small town where a lot of people are not educated. They don't think for themselves. And you will go into a restaurant and Fox News will be on and everyone will be agreeing with what Fox News is saying, or other media sources like that, or even like celebrities, like they just cling on to it because they don't have time to go through the news and go, oh, well, that doesn't seem right. They don't have time to be literate with their, they don't have time to use their critical thinking skills, which, you know,
What
who's
are
to
what
blame
are
for
those,
that,
right?
you know?
I think that's people in general.
Yeah.
Like,
Because they're so used to
and this amplifies it.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Our
When
phones.
when you can go on Twitter and see
Yes.
what anyone thinks about anything,
Yeah. It's so ridiculous. Like,
it's
why?
too easy.
But I feel
It's
like
way too easy.
wouldn't you like back down? Like if you had like a very, and I'm just using an example, if you were
Sure.
like pro-choice, like that is a fundamental, you believe that's who you are, and you love, name any celebrity you want, and they come out and they're anti that. Do people generally be like, oh,
Well, I think
that's different?
I
I,
think
feel like
one of-
that's a core value. You wouldn't like change that or be
yeah.
influenced
one
by
of
that.
two things happens. You maintain your core value and you disassociate with that celebrity,
Which is
or-
what should happen, really.
or you change your core value. And I think there's people that do
That do both.
Yeah.
But honestly, okay, you
It wouldn't
bring
be a core value. Then.
Yeah. Well, you bring up an interesting point with that, because the key word you both mentioned there, was core value.
Mhm.
So if it's a core value, do you really change that just because you like, insert celebrity name here?
Right.
Or do you say, fine, you like what you like, you hold your opinions, whatever. I'm going to, like you said, dissociate with you because that's one of my core values, which honestly would be the right thing to do. Don't change your core value because of a person. I mean, my goodness, we're all human.
Yeah, and I agree,
Like,
but I think we can't ignore that some people
right.
definitely change their entire personalities based on the ideas and thoughts of other people.
Well, where does it stem from? Is it like that thing?
I have
like,
no idea, and that's the thing.
It's just like pop thing where you're just like, oh yeah, I'm with this because so and so
It's
said.
like, why do you wear Vans? Like what? Yeah, like what? Yeah, there's things that drive you to wear Vans.
Oh,
I have
sure.
a very hot take on a certain group of celebrities that I think need to be shown the door immediately,
Shoot.
and
Sure.
that is any hip hop artist that is a glorified killer or like glorified gangster
Yeah.
or glorified just anything like King Von or any rapper from the hood that is projected as a killer, projected as a gangster, projected as a murderer, and talks about murder, talks about gun violence, talks about killing in their songs. Because I do believe that not only do I believe that the labels and the corporations that raise these artists up to talk about murder and killing and gang violence and gang stuff in their songs, it's a literal monopoly on death. It's a literal monopoly on murder. It's a literal monopoly on gun violence. And numbers actually do reflect kids and excitement over people dying and people being murdered and gang violence, because it's interesting. I think that gang rap, gangster rap, King Von music, O Block music, stuff like that, Chirac music, I think that all that is like the most deadliest thing, because it is not only a monopoly on murder and blood, but kids love it so much. Kids, Black kids, African American kids from the hood reflect that, and they take that lifestyle up, and then they completely reiterate that pattern over and over and over again. Just people dying over the amplification of it through music and celebrity worship, like rappers from that area. So that needs to stop immediately, because I think people are literally dying over what they see on music videos and TV and stuff like that. So that's always been something I stood against.
When did that shift with
I
hip
mean,
hop?
I guess like the introduction of big time gangster rap was like the 80s and 90s, when you had like Cypress Hill, NWA,
Pac and
those
Biggie and all
groups
those guys,
coming
yeah.
in.
Yeah, but like
you know.
Wu-Tang was about like their whole first album was about like, especially with Cream, how it's like talking about the economy and how cash rules everything. Like literally, like that wasn't about necessarily violence. It was more just about system thematic problems.
Like King Von, who like he's now dead, but like he literally his number one song, which has like 100 million views, over 100 million views on YouTube, which is literally a story about how he actually murdered someone, and like kids love him. Like kids love this person.
What do you think about people that are more so doing that to express the way they were raised, as opposed to encourage other people to do it?
Well, I mean, there is that. That's what NWA try to say about what they did, but it is still the wow factor, and the part of the whole thing that actually draws audiences is the murder aspect, the blood aspect, the gun aspect, and whatever is taken away, very little of it is about, oh, this is where they came from. No, what's taken away, and what you can obviously see from people who listen to that music, if you pay attention to like the communities, they don't take away like, I gotta get out of here. They take away, double down, and kill other people.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And I think labels, the worst part of it is the labels that, like, you know, when a rapper dies, their the whole portfolio and their catalog raises like 500%.
Yeah. It's a slippery slope, I feel like, because on one hand you've got suppression of creativity.
Yeah.
But on the other, I don't disagree with you that people shouldn't kill and rob and do this and that to whoever, but they should be able to express their lives, I feel like.
There's two ways to go about it, because like on one hand, like kind of the bad example, kind of what you're talking about is like The Race by TK.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he killed anybody, but he was part of a group that ended up killing someone. And that entire song that really made him famous was like, I'm on the run from the police. Like, I'm a fugitive of the law.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of that part, like, look at how cool I am.
It does come down to like human nature.
Running from the law.
Kids love drama in that way. Like kids love murder. Kids love.
And where did that come from?
Well, I think it's all about, what drives me nuts is when you talk about people who actually like, I can't remember the song, but I know there was a rap song too long ago where a guy was like, oh, I killed this dude. And then like they did an investigation, like that's a true story.
And when these rappers get famous, they don't, or they make money. They don't, some of them do, some of them like actually reinvest their money in the community, or they take care of their hood and they take care of their stuff, like their community and stuff like that. There's some rappers that do that, but when they can become famous, they don't try to project a changed set of morals. They actually continue to glorify murder and like crime, which then in turns creates a vicious cycle of their audience of kids reflecting that.
It's because they won't persecute anybody. I mean, like Cosby is free. Like think about all this, like Woody Allen. Like think about all like the like worst like people, show business, music industry, anything. It's even like all the Diddy stuff right now. People are like, yeah, there's a few loopholes you can kind of get into, and it's like, really? Like, and I know like everyone knows celebrities have some kind of magical thing to get out of like legal trouble.
Money.
Exactly.
Money.
But
It's not magic.
literally,
Money.
like it's what blows my mind. Like there's been actors who have like killed people in the 80s, and like they starred in your favorite 2000 sitcom. It's like, how, to me, that is where it gets horrible. Because now it's like, hey, this thing that's supposed to stop these horrible people from society, now you're not, and you're putting them on the biggest stage. And I think that's where it all stems from. And it goes to every angle of entertainment.
Bingo, I think you present an interesting point, which I do mostly agree with you on. And like Jordan said, I think it's very much a slippery slope. But I also think like there's a similar concept to be said with like emo music and stuff like that, where it's like, you know, these people are getting their feelings out and stuff, but at the same time, like the people who listen to it can take that and stay more in that cycle of like, okay, well, I'm sad, so I'm going to listen to sad music. And then that just keeps making them sad. And I mean, I've had personal experience with that. It's like if I listen to emo music too much, I get sad, which it doesn't make it wrong to listen to it. But I think it's important for, you know, individuals to take agency over that and decide, okay, well, how much am I going to let myself wallow in this and listen to this kind of media compared to, you know, more positive things. And I think it's a good balance to be had with that, rather than just completely restricting people on expressing themselves, I think it's important to preach balance with that instead.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think what makes gangster rap, specifically trap music, so different is I also believe that an artist is not responsible for what their audience does. I do believe that they can make whatever art they make and whatever the result is, that's not their direct fault. I really do believe that too. But I think that the fact that musicians in that regard, musicians in that genre, their catalog, their music really does like jump and skyrocket in value so much when they die. They're
Oh yeah, look at Elvis.
They're martyred, and when XXX Tentacion
I was about to
died,
say,
his
stuff blew up.
yeah, and it's like it's death that like breathes a whole new life in catalogs. And if I was a trap artist signed to a label and there were people that wanted me dead, or like I was a gang rapper and I had people who wanted me dead, and I also had a label that would make more off me if I was dead, I would literally be like utterly like I would literally live in a bunker if that was the case, because like there would be more value of my life than if I was dead. So, and also, yeah, but I do think death, like sadness and emo music, that's one thing, but like trap music is literally a glorified murder fest. And it's literally about who dies next. Who
It's
dies
all-
next.
To piggyback off of that, a lot of them like stem from, a lot of them like look up to old rapping groups like Insane Killer Clown Posse. Like they are very aggressive. I didn't even know that there was that kind of aggression, but like I feel like it's always been there, but like it definitely like blew up. That a lot of rappers do look as a role model, like to some kind of old rapping back in the 90s or the 80s, and maybe that's a good.
Yeah, I've always had a theory that those labels that they're signed to
Yeah, that's
stimulate drama because they make more money off
that
it.
too.
That was Death Row
I think-
Records in the 90s.
Yeah,
That's
that-
all they
yeah.
profited
If I
off.
was if I was an evil label head and I had an artist that was, and I did the math and I was like, I can make like $500 million more if this guy just died. I would probably set up his death immediately if I was evil and a label head. Just saying.
Sound a lot like Suge Knight right now.
I think it's interesting that you bring up Insane Clown Posse, because a lot of their music, while it is aggressive, it is a lot about class struggles and the lower class, wanting to murder the rich people, eat the rich.
Well, the problem with most things, it's all about intent. And
Yeah.
if you, to make it wider, if you want to write a song or make a movie and it has like violence, but it's just like people have the mindset, I want to showcase this to scare people to be like, this is the reality of life. That's what a lot of old school hip hop was. A lot of movies like were very satirical, like Starship Troopers was just a hard take on like capitalism, even though it was just a goofy like space movie.
Yeah.
But the problem is, and what's everything is kind of what we talked about, it's how the consumer views it. You can see it and understand it, or you can do the research, find interviews about what the artist's intent was, or in extreme cases, people see it, take it to heart.
Yeah.
Or
Most artists don't intend to like, I'm gonna make this to make my audience do this.
yeah, cause
Most
anarchy.
creative people just make things to be.
I would argue one recent case.
What?
Kendrick Lamar.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh
Not
yes.
like us.
That's fair.
He dared Drake to come to. Was it? Where in California was it?
Oakland.
It might have been. I was to say, it might have been Oakland. I'm not
that's
positive.
We're
on
inciting
that,
some
Yeah.
violence there.
Am I
That's-
weird to say I want that to happen?
That's
What
true.
is it?
but- Well, here's
Well, doesn't he dislike Drake because Drake's like a pedophile?
Yeah.
Oh,
Drake
yeah.
Isn't
also-
that like justified violence?
The reason why he said that because Drake like made a diss song where he took AI
Well-
and made his voice sound like Tupac.
I got a point to that.
Well, see, here's that brings me kind of back to my earlier point of a celebrity Drake, which again, those who know me in this room and who are watching, if anybody's watching and knows who I am, know I'm not into that kind of stuff. But that kind of goes back to my point, like Drake who? Sorry, not sorry. But again, Drake who? But that kind of goes back to my point of you're hanging on every word that this
Yeah.
person says. And again, I think from a creative perspective, I think you were right. I'm not, I just drew a blank on your name, but Yes, you. I'm looking at you, Bats hat. But anyway, it's what you said with the artists. They're not, when they make these things, they're not saying some of them, that's not their intent.
Yeah.
But I think because at the end of the day, it's all humans making this, we don't control how other humans, view what we, interpret. That's the word I'm looking for. Sorry. Interpret what we say. We have no control over that.
I think that's a problem though, because some of these celebrities realize that they do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that's just how our culture and our world has become.
Mhm.
And kind of like what Josh and what everybody said is, when did that become a thing?
Right.
I think
social
that-
media is a big one.
Yeah.
But like,
It gave everyone the incentive to chase the 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah. And
Oh,
it's-
sure.
Oh my God.
It just gives everybody a platform to
Cloud chasing is
put their
disease.
opinions out. So you get
and
you get the best of the best, but you also get the worst of the worst. It's a double-edged sword.
Oh
You just
yeah,
need to
and
practice.
you know what I think's made it 10 times worse? TikTok. Because that's 15 to 30 seconds max, maybe. What it used to be now. Now I think you can make up to what? 3
I think like 10 minutes.
10
yeah.
minutes. Thank you. Somebody, I was to say, somebody who knows more about TikTok, correct me. But
I'm
that's
chronically
your
online.
that's your 10 minutes max of fame. Granted, 10 minutes in my world is like you're ranting. If you post something that's 10 minutes long, it's either a mini docuseries that better be really, really good, or you're just ranting at that point.
Abby, I do agree with you on that like TikTok has made a lot of this stuff worse, and social media in general. But I also think that this kind of stuff has always been around, like celebrities
Yeah.
knowing that they influence people. I think
Okay.
I can speak to this as a fangirl, as much as I hate to admit it.
Well, sure. There's nothing wrong with
I
that.
am somebody who can get pretty obsessed with things, and then I have to take a step back and realize. But a few years ago, if Jungkook from BTS asked me to take a bullet from him, I would have said yes. And
Why?
these
I'll
people,
do that for Shaq.
because I'm insane, and I was
No, seriously.
I do it
Why?
with Charles.
genuinely, it's really hard to explain. It's just like my whole identity at that time revolved around the fact that I liked BTS, because you get involved in these communities of like
Yeah.
people who
Okay,
agree
so
with
it's,
you.
it's loyalty and community.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not just the
that's fair.
celebrity, it's the person, like it's the community that comes with that of like, okay, I'm a K-pop stan.
These
I
are
have,
my people.
yeah, these are my people, because
Please, that makes
especially
sense.
with
That makes
social
sense.
media and stuff, it's able to help you connect, because I've always had a really hard time making friends. And so finding these communities online has allowed me to feel at home in a place, kind of outside of the real world. And, we all like this one celebrity. So then we all
Mhm.
like each other. And then, if that celebrity says something, one person's like, okay, I'll do it. And then, everyone else joins in. And it's like, I remember it was like back in like 2017 or something. Jungkook from BTS had a certain kind of laundry detergent in the background of his live stream, and that laundry detergent sold out.
That's
It was
crazy.
laundry detergent, and your
Okay.
fan base is full of tween girls. How does I just think it's crazy, but I think this kind
Yeah.
of stuff has always been around, especially if you look at like
Well,
I'm so sorry.
No,
Can
go
I
ahead.
finish this
Yeah,
real
yeah.
quick? Celebrities and their fans having inappropriate relationships, because these celebrities will look at their fans, and their fans will do anything for them, and they will abuse and take advantage of their fans. And that has been happening forever.
Yes.
I do have kind of a similar like example of that. It's like, say like two celebrities get into like legal trouble with each other, and one of them may be more popular than the other one. The more popular celebrity could use their fans, or a lot of their fans would automatically go to their side when they don't know the full story. And I think that that's stupid that people do that.
See, that's where. Sorry.
I was gonna say just talking about manipulating stuff like Justin Bieber and everything. One song, posted everyone stream this and get it to #1, and then Billboard had to be like, hey, that's cheating.
Yeah.
Spotify, yeah.
And what kind of his thing is a more popular celebrity, if they have the fan base and the will to be like, hey guys, let's just do this.
You just game the
they'll do it.
system. You
Yeah.
own it.
Exactly.
And it's confusing. I think kind of something that you said that sparked this in my head is someone is pushing people into groups of people.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you like K-pop, someone either agrees with you or they think you're weird because you like it. There's no in between, and if there are, it's people that are in your community. It's an interesting, like, weird power dynamic, and I'm not sure where it comes from.
Yeah.
Just
And-
nerd culture.
Yeah,
Right.
Well, not
Yeah.
necessarily. Not necessarily. I don't mean that. I don't mean that.
It's true.
Are you calling me a nerd, Josh?
Yeah, that's
Fine.
not what I was saying.
Oh.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but
Uh-oh, hang on.
I could probably recite every word from Star Wars, Lord of the Rings.
That's fair.
We'll see.
I am the biggest nerd on the planet, and I will die on this hill. Everyone is a nerd for people who are like the stereotype. Oh, he just likes sports and football. They are nerds just as much as the guy who loves technology.
Don't
Well,
don't even get me
everyone's a
started on
nerd.
Dolphins Jarvis Landry. Don't get me started.
Well, see,
Everyone's a nerd for a certain thing. And
And-
That is
Right there.
that is probably one of the best statements that I've ever heard.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
It
it's
is.
true.
know about Minori Kawasaki.
Right?
It is that okay. That is
what y'all know about Luffy?
For the Chicago Cubs, Toronto Blue Jays.
But no, but I think But I think that's true. What you said is everybody's a nerd about in their own way about something. Because I mean, I'll say it. I'm old school. I miss the days where we could go back to sealing everything with a handshake and not have the 5 billion paper trail that goes with it. But that's not to say that, I'm not, up in modern times with tech and all this stuff. I'm a nerd when it comes to tech. I really am. I mean, you ask me about the latest Microsoft or Apple thing, good luck getting me to shut up about it because it ain't happening. So it's just, that's the thing. Everybody has their own thing that they're nerds about, that they're nerdy about. And there are some of us, like me, that even who know tech, like earlier when we were talking about TikTok, and I'm like, somebody correct me because that's just an area that I don't know very well. Maybe I should.
I also
doom
think there's something to be talked about how not only is there celebrity worship, but with the way cancel culture works, it takes also one thing for a celebrity to be the most hated person on planet Earth too.
Oh yeah, you said one
I
wrong
think that's
thing.
You're
something we
100% not wrong about that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's something we could do our own, like another podcast. We can do a whole podcast just on
But I
cancel
mean,
culture.
you have to think about it though. Is cancel culture even does it work anymore? Because you'll
It's-
you'll hear
it's
somebody get
only-
canceled,
I
It's
feel like
only
it's not
allowed
as-
for how people are willing to take it.
and then they have then they'll just find their specific niche group
Yeah.
that will
Yeah.
still follow them, that still agrees with them. So I mean, technically to the greater public, yes, they are, I guess, canceled. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, they're still out there. They're still, saying the same acts that they got in trouble for, and
I think
they'll just find their specific
I think
niche.
that's tolerance. The more
Yeah.
you see people get canceled for crazy things, it's like, oh well, so and so only did this, and Diddy did this. That's cool.
Yeah.
yeah, well,
It's all fan base.
it's a fan base and you get immune to it.
Right.
If you see it over and over and over and over again, eventually you're just going to get immune to it. And then you have those people, and this is what I call the extreme of they're going to follow X person no matter what they do,
Right.
good, bad, or ugly, to the end of the earth. They're going to follow that person.
I think, sorry.
I was just gonna say I feel like part of it, and just from what I've seen, and there's people who you love a celebrity, they do something bad, you're like, well, great, that ruins it.
Right.
But I feel like, for example, if
Thank you, Dave Grohl. Sorry.
literally, but let's say if you have just for easy numbers, let's say you have 100 fans and you get
Very generous.
exactly, and I'm one of them. So if you let's say you steal something, okay, and now people are like, okay, and you go through the whole legality, people are like, all right, he did his time. But then you have people from other fan bases who just see X guy stole something. They're like, okay, well, that guy sucks. I can now bash him rather than be on social media.
Yeah.
So it's not really true fans. And like I said, there's exceptions where people can see, all right, this guy's on it, cool.
Yeah.
Have y'all ever
I
heard of
feel
a
like it's
band
most of it.
called Brand New? Anyone ever heard of the band
Yeah.
Brand New?
No, that's not
They're like an emo band, but they were very popular in the early 2010s and in the early 2000s. But So like they have the most loyal fan base ever, like loyal, like tattoos. If people had tattoos, people had everything. That people love them. And then like they probably had the most craziest fan base of people. And the lead singer came out in the height of cancel culture when it was like really strong. It came out. He was like a groomer. He was a pedophile. He cheated on his wife with like young girls, and he used his like power dynamic, being a lead singer of a famous rock band, to like use that influence to like seduce people that weren't even of age. And when that happened, like it became a witch hunt for him. It was like, and then all the fans. He posted an apology on his Facebook, and he hid it from the public. He's been hidden ever since. But like, it's been a witch hunt for him, and like people would like say that they, it's like death threats and everything. And I'm not advocating for what he's done, but like I really do feel like there's like extremes with mob mentality. Like you're either loved so much so people get tattoos of you on their body,
Or they want you dead.
or they want you dead.
Right, and there's
Yeah.
no in between.
That is
But
100% true.
But with that, I mean, this conversation could, gosh, we're pretty good about going on about things. But with that, I think we need to, we've had a good discussion. And we can pick this up sometime later and maybe make a part 2. But for now, we are all signing off, and we shall say see you next time, as in next week, on the horizon.
Remember one thing.
I love you, Josh.
Like,
I got a tattoo of you on my
On your